Well, now to a big local story we've been following. Residents of one Minot neighborhood are crying foul over a recent special assessment. The residents learned they may be responsible for footing the bill for streetlight repairs over the course of a decade. Crystal Quao looks at why residents may be paying for infrastructure costs directly.
The community of District 65 received a letter from the city saying if they wanted to replace the outdated and hazardous lighting system with a brand new one, they would need to pay 70% of the cost.
I had never been asked to pay for any part of streetlights, road work, sewer previously, so I didn't understand why my taxes, property taxes, weren't paying for this bill as well.
City engineer Lance Meyer says it's been common for the districts with similar lighting issues, like downtown Minot, to pay 100% of the bill.
Every citizen in Minot that pays property taxes, their taxes go towards operation and maintenance of their street lighting system.
He says District 65 is one of the first residential neighborhoods with this bill structure because it goes beyond basic maintenance. Jennifer Rockwell says due to the size of the land of her property, she's looking at paying more than $6,000 either upfront or over the course of 10 years.
I don't know if anybody else has that in their budget to pay this much upfront.
Jennifer and Bonnie asked their neighbors about their thoughts on the new expense.
And the neighbors that we talk to, a lot of them are retired military or on disability or on Social Security.
Both of them are sending or emailing a letter of protest to the city auditor to stop the new installation. 50% of the neighborhood would need to object, according to the North Dakota Century Code, to stop the system replacement.
And everybody that we spoke to said, absolutely, we do need lights. It is a safety issue.
Bonnie and Jennifer say the cost of infrastructure should be a citywide tax burden. Myers says his department recommended that the city pay for some of the costs because traffic goes through the neighborhood. City Council decided on 30% via sales tax.
If council wants to do something different, they certainly can do that, but this is the process we're going through at this time.
Lance says water, sewer, and the storm sewer systems can't be protested. Every other type of improvement can be specially assessed. In Minot, I'm Crystal Quao reporting for your news leader.
Meyer says the cost to replace the lighting system will be $550,000 plus administrative costs. He says 217 residents live in District 65.